it could have been a situation where someone might try to take my life or I had to kill somebody, you know. And I think it would have been the latter because I ain't never let nobody do nothing to me, so.
How long was that trial in itself?
My trial only lasted 4 days.
Do you feel it should have been quicker or longer? Like more should have been?
I feel like it should have been longer. I had a lot of witnesses that I wanted to put on the stand.
Such as, like, if you were to throw one out there, who?
So when it got close to trial, Manny, you know, they was constantly digging, constantly going through all the discovery. So he called me one day and he was like, he started asking me about random numbers. And I'm like, Manny, why are you asking me about all these numbers? And he said, these were the people that you were talking to 3 minutes before Young Dolph got murdered. Mm-hmm. And so when he asked me about these different numbers, one number I was talking to my brother about sports, FanDuel. You know, we make bets every day, all day. Another number I was talking to one of the homies. I was going to serve him some weed. So Manny's theory was, if you were 3 minutes, 5 minutes before Dolph got killed, serving weed, making FanDuel bets, how were you planning and conspiring to kill Young Dolph? So I wanted to put those people on the stand and let them tell the jury about the conversations that we were having, because it's on record, it's on black and white. Like, the prosecution got it, and my legal team got it. So, you know, for whatever reasons, the people that I wanted to get on the stand, you know, they were sort of afraid, you know, I guess because of the magnitude of the case and how high profile it was. Do I agree with their decision? No, I don't. If the shoe was on the other foot, I definitely would have been there before the judge if their life on the line. But, you know, kind of one person in particular that I genuinely care about, you know, that shit almost severed our brotherhood, I guess you would say. And I was real upset about it because this nigga know that if the shoe was on the other foot, ain't nothing in the world would have stopped me from being there. Yeah. So, you know, but we come up different. You know, that he always been my brother, but I was the one to go hard and he was playing sports. Yeah. And so with that being said, you know, he explained his position. Now that he got a chance to have an in-depth conversation with me, bro apologized, you know, and he said that he was dead wrong. Yeah. And, you know, since he was able to utter those words to me, you know, I forgave, bro. And, you know, we back chopping it again. So, you know, it's all good. You know, do I still think about it every blue moon? You know, I guess I do, but I ain't tripping though. You know, it is what it is. I know he genuinely cared about me and genuinely got love for me. So it is what it is.
Yeah, the fact that he apologized, that's the first step.
Yeah, for sure, 100.
Yeah, that's the first step. So yeah, you felt it should have been a little longer. 4 days is pretty quick for, you know, your life to be on the line.
And when I was saying that to Manny, Manny was like, he was just like, just look at all the other trials. Like, you know, it's just look at Puffy. You know, they didn't put on one witness. You know, and because I was thinking that I need to have all of these witnesses, you know, in support of me for the jury to hear. And he was like, no, we're going to let the state ruin their case. And I didn't understand this language until now, you know, but thanks to Manny O'Rourke, you know, he guided me through that whole process, him and Robert Wilson and Beth and Haley. So, you know, I was just blessed to have them.
A hypothetical, I'm just curious. If you were to do the plea deal, mm-hmm. and you were to go, that was a state crime, right? That was a state crime, so you would have went upstate. for technically, for the murder of Dolph, you would have sat down for that. Would you have been in the 23-1? I mean, how would they have played that out for you?
So no, it's different when I would have went to actual prison. If I would have been if I was gonna go to 23-1, it would have been because of I wanted to be there because I'm doing what they call checking in. Some shit I'd never do. But what I would have had to do is, as soon as I hit the yard, I would have had to go holler at the homies and give me a knife. Because of the case. It's gonna be. I got homeboys in the pen, and when I was going to trial, we was chopping it, and I was getting prepared, just in case if I did lose or if I had to sign a deal, something that I could, I felt like was decent. So I was chopping it up with the homies that's already there, and they was getting it to me straight with no chaser. Just they was letting me know it's a lot of niggas here love you and there's some niggas here that hate you. So with that being said, as soon as you pull up, we got that iron for you. So yeah, I knew it was gonna be it was probably gonna be a situation where, it could have been a situation where someone might try to take my life or I had to kill somebody, and I think it would have been the latter because I ain't never let nobody do nothing to me. So
yeah. Now, and again, for those who ain't been to prison, how much of your head have to be on the swivel, just to see a play coming your way, if one is to come your way?
Well, if you just a regular degular, it ain't as intense as you just going through the motions, But for a person like me on that type of case, you got to keep your eyes open for all the moves. You never know how the move gonna come. The move might come through your homeboy. So with my situation, it's just different. I would have probably had to sleep with one eye open. So yeah, it's just different. It's totally different from being a normal inmate versus a high profile inmate.
I want to speak on three real people real quick. Is for Straight Drop, for Cornelius, and I also want to speak to Big Juke. For Straight Drop, he was an artist that you actually have faith in that could make it.
Definitely.
Now he's, of course, how much time did he get hit with?
Drop got life.
For him, I don't know how old he was, but he was young. For him to do this time, even what you're saying, right now, as far as keeping your head on the swivel for what happened, are you concerned for his safety in there, or do you care to even think about what he's going through from whatever relationship y'all had together with the music?
Man, actually, last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, I spoke to bro. It was our first time communicating. He reached out to me. He had someone to reach out to me.
Yeah.
And saying, Drop wanted to holler at me.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to, check the temperature and see, what it hit for and, what he wanted to discuss. So I accepted the call and, we chopped it up and bro just hollered at me, and because there was some things that were said and just came to the light during the trial that I didn't agree with. Yeah. And that if the shoe was on the other foot, I definitely wouldn't have never said or did to him. But he explained how he came to saying the things that were said, and he was just being brainwashed by the sucker Cornelius telling him that I was doing certain things, and the whole time it was him. And Drop ended up seeing that when the case played out. And so, he kind of felt bad for saying some of the things that he did say. And, he just, apologized to me. And not on no sucker shit, just on some grown man shit.
Yeah.
He apologized to me. So, I don't want to see nothing bad happen to Drop, you know. I hope he do his time, with as much peace as he possibly, can. I ain't that type of person. I ain't cold-hearted like that. At one point in time, I felt like we was gonna be the next Birdman, Lil Wayne or something, because of the little nigga talented, and I seen it, and I wanted that for him. I wanted him to shine, and I wanted him to, become the next drill rapper out the city.